Tonight on CTV News at 11:30, we're getting our first look at a northwestern Ontario First Nation that's been devastated by the wildfires. Plus, a new treatment center opens, and it's looking to help those impacted along the North Shore.
The opioid addiction in general is at all-time highs.
The 16 beds will offer cultural-based healing to the Indigenous men and women in the area. And as a trade war escalates between Canada and the U.S.,
we need to support ourselves here in Canada. Working together makes it so much easier for all of us.
9 of Canada's 13 provinces and territories agree to remove interprovincial barriers on booze.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We're getting a closer look at the devastation in Namagusangagan First Nation, also known as Collins First Nation, in northwestern Ontario. These images are courtesy of the Canadian press. They show the charred forest and destroyed buildings. Some foundations and rubble are all that remain of the homes there. CTV Chief Helen Pavela returned to the First Nation earlier this week with elders and council members to see the damage firsthand. The community is an independent First Nation, and Pavela is calling on the Prime Minister to recognize them as a First Nation.
The videos, the pictures that are out there right now don't do justice. It's horrible. It's awful. And those words are just, those words are not enough to explain what we saw.
The Ministry of Natural Resources says 187 wildfires continue to burn across northern Ontario. Most of the fires have burned in the last 10 days and forced more than 1,800 people from their homes. 12 of the 13 evacuated communities are First Nations. Yesterday, First Nations leaders called for a public inquiry into Ontario's response, accusing the province of leaving communities to fend for themselves. Premier Doug Ford says his government has done everything it can to respond to the wildfires. As those fires continue to burn, 2 Toronto organizations are jumping into action to help. Global Medic is teaming up with Muslim Welfare Canada to buy mobile fire suppressing equipment. CTV's John Musselman has the details.
At this Global Medic warehouse in Etobicoke, teams are mobilizing to send these portable firefighting devices to communities in northwestern Ontario. They can be deployed on the back of pickup trucks and could be used to put out small spot fires that spread from the embers of the larger fires.
It's a 1,000-liter tank. It's mounted on a welded aluminum skid. There's a pump and hose, and it turns any pickup truck, and you can imagine how many pickup trucks are in this region, into a fire truck. And what we've been doing is we've been working feverishly to get these units out into the hands of the smaller volunteer departments that lack equipment, to get more firefighters out deployed onto the fire. With a unit like this, you can get closer to the fire, you can deploy more of your people, and you can get the fires out.
More than a dozen of these units are being shipped to Thunder Bay, and additional units are coming from Edmonton. The wildfires in northwestern Ontario continue to burn. More than 50 fires are listed as out of control. 13 communities have been evacuated, displacing more than 1,800 people.
So it's terrible, right?
Officials with Muslim Welfare Canada have partnered with Global Medic, providing equipment and money, more than $65,000 to assist in this effort.
Our neighbors are our first priority. So that's why we saw there is come to our knowledge, it's a huge need over there. So that's why we want to go over front line and do the help to the people those are suffering over there.
John Musselman, CTV News.
In other news, another arrest has been made in the murder of a 41-year-old man at the Energy Court homeless encampment in downtown Sudbury. Police have been investigating the homicide since June 11th after a body was found inside a burned-out tent. A 31-year-old man was arrested at 3 this morning at Energy Court. He's facing charges with first-degree murder, arson, and possession of a weapon. A second man was arrested last month in connection with the murder. North Bay police have arrested 5 people for trafficking and other charges after a robbery investigation. Officers were called to the 500 block of McNamara Street last week. They identified and located the 5 suspects over 2 days and executed search warrants at homes on McPhail and McNamara Streets. According to police, they seized a 9mm handgun and ammunition along with more than $67,000 in illicit drugs and cash. 3 of the suspects are from the Greater Toronto area and 2 are from North Bay. The charges include robbery, trafficking, and possession of a weapon. New tonight, a freshly built addiction treatment facility is now ready to help on the shores of Lake Huron. CTV's Corey Nordstrom gives us a first-hand look at the 16-bed facility that's just days away from offering culturally based healing to a cohort of Indigenous men and women.
With that, the Ben-Bewapka Treatment Center is ready to serve the North Shore. The 16-bed facility will allow for culturally based programming in a facility designed by and for Indigenous people, with a 42-day program for both men and women seeking help.
The opioid addiction in general is at all-time highs. And so any facility is a welcome facility in this whole healing and recovery that we want to see happening in our communities and our people.
This will give people that show up here to recover the confidence in the people that they are dealing with, and they will be connected back to the land, to the water, and they will feel it, and that makes their recovery happen faster and quicker.
Sheehan's government invested $23.5 million in the facility. At the time of the site's groundbreaking, the project was expected to cost just $14 million.
We went to RFP, and it was on and around the time when we were dealing with the pandemic. And so all of the costs associated with construction skyrocketed. So we went from a $14 million to a $20 million project almost overnight.
The home that Ben-Bewapka occupied for parts of 4 decades isn't far away, and with the old site being converted to the North Shore Heart Hub, it's set to add to the continuum of care on the property.
The Heart Hub is going to give us our pre-treatment, post-treatment beds. We have 11 of them. So when people do apply to come into the program and it's halfway through a cycle, we have space for them to stay safe.
The first cohort at the new center will begin their healing journey a week from today. Officials with Mamwesing said the site is also built with the ability to eventually offer treatment for youth and families. Significant training would first need to take place, and they estimate that it's at least 2 years down the road. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Blind River.
Timmins and District Hospital's emergency department is warning patients it's going to see reduced physician availability for the next 3 days and on Sunday. Those with urgent or life-threatening health concerns will be seen and treated first. Patients with a medical emergency should still call 911 and come to the ER immediately. And if your health concern is not urgent, they're asking people to contact their family doctor, nurse practitioner, or a walk-in clinic. The town of Englehart is under a boil water advisory. That's according to Northeastern Public Health, which is advising residents to bring water to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute before using or to use bottled water. It's unclear how long the boil water advisory will be in place. North Bay's Deputy Mayor Maggie Horsfield announcing today she's gunning for the top job on City Council. In a social media post, Maggie Horsfield says after discussions with her family and the public, she filed her papers to enter the race for mayor. In her time on council, she says she developed a strong understanding of municipal finances, strategic planning, and accountable decision making. She'll be up against City Councilor Jamie Lowry and newcomer Connor Curry. Resident Dan Sagan has also indicated he will run but has not filed yet. Incumbent Peter Jericho has not indicated whether he will run in October. 2 agencies have partnered up in Sudbury to provide youth with resources and support they may need to find employment. CTV's Angela Gemmel reports.
To do mock interviews or any of that one-on-one support with youth so that it's a space that is quieter.
Camila Francis shows off one of 3 meeting rooms at the Youth Wellness Hub in downtown Sudbury. They'll be used by employment professionals to provide advice and guidance to young people searching for a job.
The Youth Wellness Hub, it's all about mental health and wellness, and part of that is having a job. And so we realize that employment is really important part of that pathway to ensuring that youth are feeling well and secure, especially financially.
The Wellness Hub is operated by the nonprofit Child and Youth Mental Health Agency known as Compass. They've partnered with Spark Employment Services to provide youth-focused employment support to be delivered from the downtown space.
Youth are already attending the Youth Wellness Hub and participating in their program. It's already a place that they feel comfortable in, that they trust, and so now we're bringing our services there to meet their needs so that they don't have to come to a new location.
Employment expert Experts from Spark will help youth with skills like resume writing, job searches, and other tailored coaching.
One of the ones that I think is kind of cool is the interview prep, so being able to practice interviewing in real time with someone. I think that always helps to be able to practice answering interview questions. So that's something that, again, Spark will be able to help with, and then we're excited we'll have here.
But we're also going to bring in our Francophone Navigator program, so we're going to be also able to provide services to the Francophone youth.
Employment services begin here at the Youth Wellness Hub starting tomorrow, with a few sessions planned throughout the summer before it becomes weekly scheduled support this fall. Angela Gamble, CTV News, Sudbury.
A heads up for those in the new Liskeard area this weekend. A good chunk of downtown will be closed to traffic. Timiskaming Shores city officials are closing sections of Whitewood Avenue, Armstrong and Wellington streets for the new Liskeard BIA block party. It'll run from 7 a.m. on Friday to 5 p.m. the following Saturday. Detours will be in place around the downtown core. The City of Timmins is joining a national initiative aimed at strengthening the response to hate and discrimination. It's one of 10 Canadian communities selected to take part in the program. The initiative is led by the Canadian Centre for Safer Communities, with Timmins working alongside community justice initiatives and the Stronger Cities Network. The partnership will examine community needs and develop a plan specific to Timmins. The project will also build on the city's existing hate and discrimination reporting tool.
The goal of the project overall is to strengthen local capacity to address factors that lead to polarization, hate, and violent extremism. So we want to create structures locally that can exist past the life of this project that will address some of those risk factors that contribute to polarization or hate in local communities.
I think what will come of this is a collection of really important data that will help us be able to inform new approaches or strategies. And so if we recognize trends and a certain kind of hate or discrimination online, certain groups that are being targeted, that could help us better to, implement actions that are going to target those issues specifically.
The city says more details about the local project will be shared as the work moves forward. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Amanda will have our full weather forecast. For now, we'll look at the current conditions, and it is going to be cool. Some of us hanging around the average for this time of year. 16 in Kapuskasing, definitely our warm spot. Actually, Parry Sound really at this time of night. 9 in Sault Ste. Marie. Yikes, we're seeing some clear conditions in Wawa, Chapleau, all the way down to Manitoulin Island and Elliott Lake. 14 in Timiskaming Shores, 14 in Sudbury, 13 in North Bay. We'll have details after the break.
Welcome back from the break. A cooler night out there across the Northeast, seeing some single-digit temperatures. It was a pretty cooler day out there for the most part in general, but things are going to change as we get closer to the weekend. But with that, we might see a chance of showers. But let's get started with the forecast radar. Looking at how things are going to look on Thursday there, we've got a little bit of scattered shower activity as we inch closer to Friday. Similar story as we get into Friday night there, but temperatures are getting closer to seasonal for this time of year. 7-day forecast starting with Sudbury Nickel Belt. So we've got sunshine in the morning, clouding over by the afternoon, high of 24 degrees. Chance of showers on Friday sitting at 25, which is the normal for this time of year, holding on to that temperature as we head into Saturday with a chance of showers and a chance of showers throughout the rest of the week. And we're hovering around normal for this time of year. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, cloudy skies for tomorrow, high of 25, feeling more like 30 with the humidex. Chance of showers on Friday, continuing into Saturday, stronger chance of showers on Saturday, and by Sunday we'll be getting up to a high of 24 with a chance of showers. For Timmins, Conquer, Kapuskasing, chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow, high of 24, bumping up to 27 on Friday with a chance of showers. Showers on the way for Saturday. Might be a good day to stay inside and maybe watch a movie. It'll be good weather though for your gardens and for your plants though, for sure. 23 on Sunday with a chance of showers, and a similar story on Monday. For Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, sunshine in the morning, clouding over by the afternoon, getting up to a high of 25 degrees, 26 on Friday with a chance of showers continuing throughout the weekend, and by Monday, chance of showers as well, sitting at 24, so hovering around the 24-25 degree range. And finally for North Bay, West Nipissing, mainly sunny skies for tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be a nice day for your Thursday, high of 24 degrees, 25 on Friday with a chance of showers continuing throughout the weekend, getting up to 24 degrees on Monday. Slight chance of showers there. Hopefully we see a little bit of sunshine, but we'll see as how things go as we continue on. So Ian, we're going to see a little bit of showers head over the next couple days. Sending it back to you.
As long as it's a little. Thanks so much, Amanda. All 13 of Canada's provincial and territorial premiers are gathering in Charlottetown for an annual summit. It comes against the backdrop of the new tariff threat by President Trump. On Monday, the president threatened to impose a 50% tariff on a number of Canadian goods, including alcohol, cement, dairy products, and hockey sticks. The new tariffs were sparked in part by provincial bans on U.S. alcohol. 9 of the 13 provinces and territories, including Ontario, have now agreed to remove interprovincial barriers to alcohol sales. Under the agreement, provincial rules will change to allow Canadian producers to sell alcoholic products directly to consumers, regardless of jurisdiction. The premiers of Quebec and the 3 territories have not signed on yet to the agreement. CTV's Tyler Fleming has more tonight on the impact and what that means for some local producers looking to expand.
At SFR Distillery in Ottawa, a variety of spirits are made on site.
Vodka, gin, we do a number of liqueurs,
including the flagship award-winning whiskey crafted by master distiller Adam Brierley.
And we'd love to share it with everybody.
Now they can. For years, selling alcohol across provincial borders has been complicated by rules and regulations. But on Tuesday, 9 provinces, including Ontario but not Quebec, agreed to make it easier for breweries, wineries, and distilleries to sell directly to consumers outside their home province.
Now, if people coast to coast, north, south, east, west, want to try Canada's best blended whiskey, they can just go on our website and order it to their door.
Pistol's Brewery is toasting the move too.
If you have fans that could be visiting and then they go back to where they're from, now they can go ahead and get it, right?
The change comes as Canadian producers look to grow their market at home, with some provinces banning American alcohol products from shelves amid ongoing trade tensions with the United States.
We need to support ourselves here in Canada. Working together makes it so much easier for all of us.
For whiskey lovers, it means access to rare, unique, and small batch bottles that can be hard to find.
Right here, Baldour's from Last Mountain Distillery is a hidden gem, and it's been on my list of whiskeys to buy.
Mike Brisebois, who organizes the Whiskey Wonderland Festival in Ottawa, says this helps to uncork Canada's world-class whiskey scene.
Now they can actually create that link to the consumer and actually fulfill an order to them and, get their products across the country without being tied to have a general listing in one of our government-regulated liquor stores.
We do a very approachable, very familiar London dry style gin. It's kind of one of those rising tide situations, right? Where our industry then grows and we have an identity on the national stage.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
After years of planning, a new seniors housing development in Smooth Rock Falls is moving into the construction phase. The Smooth Rock Falls Attainable Housing Corporation, in partnership with the town, has begun construction on the new development. The project will create 20 accessible 2-bedroom rental units for residents age 55 and older on municipally owned land near the hospital. The first residents are expected to move in by fall 2027.
Seniors have to leave their communities because they can't find appropriate housing. And that's a terrible story. We hear this over and over again. Like every community we go into, they've been trying to get one of these projects going for 10 and 20 years. We come in and we do a business plan, we do a needs analysis, we do public meetings, we meet with people, and even before we start building, the place is practically filled.
The project already has 15 people signed up, with more than 100 others on a waiting list. We're told rent for a 2-bedroom unit is expected to be about $1,700 a month. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. A historic sports moment for North Bay, celebrated today on the 50th anniversary by the players who brought the trophy home. Their story after the break. It was an historic moment in North Bay sports history, the 1976 win by the North Bay Trappers. Today, 17 players from the championship team reunited at the arena where they made history 50 years ago. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
Bob Whittick was 14 years old when he was swept up by the North Bay Trappers phenomenon in 1976.
The Big Red Machine, they were called in the day.
He made sure to bring his stick to get his childhood hockey heroes to sign it. The city was in euphoria, rallying around the Trappers when they won the Junior A Provincial Championship 50 years ago.
Like, I think we were all hanging off the Raptors up top.
Named one of the top 20 teams over the past 100 years at a recent North Bay Sports Hall of Fame event, that championship series, folks say, captured the city like nothing ever had.
Of all the things that have happened, I think, in hockey in our North Bay, this thing is the most iconic moment.
The Trappers were down 3-0 in the series, but rallied back. It went to an unprecedented Game 8 due to the point system at the time. Going into Game 7 away from home, both teams were tied with 6 points.
Joey Omicelli scores 3 minutes into overtime to take the lead, and then North York score with 3 seconds left in the timed overtime, and the rules said that was it. So now they each have 7 points in an 8-game series.
We had young guys that were really good hockey players that could put the puck in the net. We had role players, we had enforcers, we had seasoned veterans.
Over a dozen buses full of Trappers fans made the trip to North York. Then when the team pulled back into the city that night, the lineup for Game 8 tickets astonished them.
3 a.m. and they did not go home. They were standing in line, wrapped around, so that when that tickets opened.
The Trappers won Game 8 5-2, sending the city into jubilation. Former NHLer turned Los Angeles Kings color commentator Jimmy Fox has been around many arenas, but none touch his heart like Memorial Gardens did.
We were the only northern team in the league, so to speak, so I think everyone really bonded together here.
Some of the players ended up settling in North Bay. Many moved on, and this reunion has been decades in the making. A hockey moment they and their fans will not soon forget.
Truly Hockeyville, you know, back in the day.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
The Sioux Greyhounds continue to build their bench with the announcement of a second assistant coach. Patrick Jarrett will be joining the team from Pennsylvania, where he coached U16 and U18 clubs. Jarrett has spent some time coaching in the OHL, clocking 2 seasons with the Hamilton Bulldogs, as well as playing for the Mississauga Ice Dogs back in the day. He may be coming from the States to take on this new position, but coaching the Hounds will be a homecoming, as he was born and raised in Sault Ste. Marie. Purolator is retiring 16 trucks across Canada, and 1 retiring truck is from Sudbury and will stay in Sudbury. It's being donated to the local food bank. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
This morning, Purolator changed the license plates and gave away the keys for the truck as it embarks on a new career.
The truck has done well for us in what we do for delivering, and with us being passionate about helping the food banks, it's great to see that we're able to once again donate a truck from our facility that still has some life left that can provide some support to the food bank.
I think that this truck and the broader vision is going to be used to enhance what we're able to do to meet that need, and we're really excited and we're really proud. There's only one of 16 trucks across Canada, and we were very fortunate to get one here in Sudbury.
Just last week, one of the food bank's trucks broke. Labby says this donated truck will help them maintain their fleet.
We've got deliveries coming in from we have about 16 grocery partners across the city that we're getting, reclaimed food that's not going to the landfill. Last year, we diverted over 450,000 pounds of food from the landfill through that program. So it's important for us not just to distribute the food to the food banks, but also the food that's coming into the food bank and keep that flowing.
The food bank says the need for food has grown with 579 new users in the first quarter of this year. They say the truck will help them make food banks more accessible across the city.
We also know from all of our statistics that the majority of people who are using our food banks now are working poor. They're facing food insecurity, and how are they able to leave their second job or their main job during the day to access a food bank in their area if it's only open for a 2-hour window during the day? So I think that this truck and the broader vision is going to be used to enhance what we're able to do to meet that need.
Purolator employees also personally donated over 200 pounds of food and around $145 to support the food bank in addition to the truck. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Such a great cause. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Wednesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.